practical questions about relationship with Mary. And so at least once a year I like to go into that and get some strong points. Just consecrating yourself, a la St. Louis Marie de Montfort, does not do it. That alone is just a prayer. There is work to be done after. And if you don't enter that work, you just wait for this prayer to work ex opere operato. It's not going to work. You're going to be disappointed. It's going to be, where are you? How do you call her name and draw close to her? How do you do that? So we'll use St. Louis Marie de Montfort as our model. You know that he was of the French school, started by Cardinal Beirut in Paris. St. Vincent de Paul was a Beirulian from the French school. Francis de Sales, a Beirulian from the French schools. And Louis Marie de Montfort is called the last of the great Beirulians. So that places him, place in history is very influential. The Montfort fathers have written a book called Jesus Living in Mary, which is 3 inches thick. That's his theology. They would like him to be a doctor of the church, and so this thick package is the document for that. Doesn't it give you some idea how your head will spin when you try to read it all? You don't get a relationship with the Blessed Virgin Mary by reading Jesus Living in Mary. I love reading Jesus Living in Mary, it's wonderful. But that doesn't give you a relationship. Reading doesn't give you a relationship. There is some doing that is necessary. Reading the Gospel doesn't give you a relationship with Jesus Christ. He said, the person who looks at his Gospel is like a person who looks in the mirror, sees their face, understands it, then walks away and forgets what they look like. There is doing involved in relationship with anybody. And it's especially true with divinity and with Mary, with saints as well. What is involved? Lewis says, if you will do 4 things, and if you do them with faith, which is the second part of it, you will have a relationship with her. So you don't have to go invent another way. You don't have to read his books over and over and over again. You cut to the chase. What is it he wants me to do, Lewis? Number 1, you ask her to help you be recollected in her all day long. Well, I can tell you, here's my hand on it, it's not going to happen. That is the ideal. Somebody living in a cloister where they're silent most of the time can enter voluntarily into a recollected life with her. But for us, it's in between pots and pans, and in between running kids, and in between meetings, and in between everything. It's just, life is a zoo. And so there's no way we're going to be recollected and married 24 hours a day. So it's sort of like, get used to that. It's an ideal that we probably can't reach. But you can, when you have moments, call her name. Or just say, Mary, all for you, totus tuus. That's where he got that. John Paul got that, right up there. If she wants to make you recollected in her, she will do it. That's grace. And it's an act of grace. You don't produce it. So satisfy yourself with all for you, Mary, several times throughout the day. When you think of her, I'm doing everything for you, Mary. That's what he recommends. But there are 3 in this list of 4, beginning with in, recollected in Mary. And you can. He said, if you will be in, with, by, and for Mary in everything, you'll have a relationship with her. In I just described. What does with mean? It means as. As is a much better word than with. With and as, often interchangeable. So here's how you do it. When you get up in the morning, or you do in the evening as well, morning and evening, you say, Mary, I would love to be recollected in you. I would give anything to be recollected in you. And if you want to give me that grace, I will be so ready to receive it. But in this moment, I'm with you. And I'm asking you to let me do everything as you would, all day today. Exactly as you would do it. You go there. You are expecting her to help you with that, right? That means you have to try. What would Mary do? What would Mary do? I want to do as she would. That's the first step. Second step is to do everything with her powerful intercession. So you say, Mary, you go ahead of me. All day today, you be out there ahead of me. And you put your powerful intercession into every place I'm going to be and meet, everyone I'm going to meet. I'm depending on you to do that. And she will. If you don't depend on her to do that, she won't do it. If you don't believe she's really going to do it, she won't do it. She might, just to be nice. It's your faith that will wake up this whole thing. Same with Jesus. You can do everything by her powerful intercession. Remember Father Holly? Come, Holy Spirit. By the power of her intercession. Where do you think he got that? Louis Moody. And you do everything for her. Lewis says she's the proximate goal. Pleasing the mother is the proximate goal. What's proximate? Right in front of you. And the remote goal beyond that is to please Jesus. Because by pleasing her, you will please him. You don't make him your proximate goal. You make her your proximate goal. And then she takes you right by the hand, and pretty soon there you are in front of him. That's the whole idea of Lewis's piece. So the 4 parts, do everything in Mary. Try to be recollected in her. And you do that, he says, busy people do that by saying, all for you, Mary. All for you, whenever they think of her during the day. Do everything as she would. Exactly as she would. If you find yourself doing something the way she wouldn't do it, stop. To do everything by her powerful intercession. Which in practical terms is, Mother, you run ahead of her. Mother Teresa did this all the time. Once she was in, how do you get all this done? She said, I go to my rosary and I tell Mary to run up ahead of me and take care of things. So that when I get there, it's going to be fruitful. You have no idea how useful that is unless you do it. And the 4th one, to do everything for her. I said early in my priesthood, I work for the Virgin Mary. And I mean it literally. When I took her, well, and she took me as my sponsor in my priesthood in Mexico City that day, it was clear to me that my whole life is tied up to her. I work for her. If I work for her, I'm productive. If I forget it, I know it. Then I'm on my own. Jesus did that for me. Not because he wanted to lay this great honor, but because he knew I needed it. It's as if he said to his father, Doug will never make it. And the father said, send your mother. She'll keep him where he needs to be. Honest to God, that's just what I believe. Okay, so you have those pieces in place. The second part of it is, you absolutely have to believe she's there when you pray. You can't be in this doubting place. When you sit down evening and morning and you say, Mary, I want to talk to you, you have to believe she's listening. She's right there. No matter where you are, she's right in front of you. You have her full attention. If you don't believe that, you are praying without faith. You're just throwing stones into the darkness, hoping it's something will clank. That might one time, but the next time it won't. You have to believe she's listening. And you don't have to do anything to get her to listen. All you have to do is say, Mary, and she's listening. The second piece of that is you have to believe she's heard you. She's not deaf. To the cries of her children, she is never deaf. God put that on her as her job. It's her work. It's her vocation to take care of us. Well, why would she not want to please him? And so it's my vocation to let her take care of him. So I have to believe she hears every word of my prayer, every word. No doubt. Then I have to believe she takes responsibility. If I say, go ahead. Last night, when Nancy and I were praying the rosary, we were giving our intentions. And like always, I said, Mary, that you will go ahead of me and prepare the way for tomorrow. So everything can be fruitful, peaceful, and productive. Help me do everything the way you would. And I'll do it for you. Those pieces. I've done that for years. You have to believe she's going to do that. No doubt. And then you have to accept what comes. That's the last piece. You have to accept what comes. If she heard you, if she took it, and if you trust her, then no matter what comes, if the house burns down, she'll help you walk through it. When you pray, Mother Mary, here's my list. I want this and this and this and this and this by Wednesday noon. What is that? It's certainly not prayer. It's instructing somebody in heaven on what you want to do, them to do for you. We don't pray that way. We say, your will be done. And we pray when our needs be known. And they already know them. Heaven already knows all our needs. And then whatever comes, we accept. Well, I don't know that I like that, because it might not be what I want. So, are you the one with all the wisdom, or is God the one with all the wisdom? Who has all the wisdom? Isn't it better to answer? I went to bury a boy in Queen Creek, 19 years old, had a hard life, and he died of a flaming pickup wreck, all by himself and drunk. And I thought, how am I going to talk to this guy in Mexico? Anyway, I got out to the church for the funeral, and I sat down in front with the father who was sitting there alone. And I looked at him, and he had such a peaceful look on his face. I said, I'm really, really sorry. And he said, don't be. You don't have to be sorry. And I said, why? He was headed for hell. He wouldn't go to Mass, he was drinking, he was doing everything bad. I think he robbed some places. He said it was just going to get worse and worse and worse. Jesus took him home before he began himself. God's the one with wisdom. We need to accept whatever comes. Therese said, she was a pretty good compliment too. She said, I found peace in this world when I decided to trust that whatever God says is right.